Jungle Friends, my name is Josh. I'm your story guide today. Let's make sure we keep those hands, arms, legs, and feet inside the truck at all times. And if you got loose items like hats, cameras, purses, cell phones, just make sure to hang on to those items tightly, as we cannot stop for anything that is dropped outside of the truck. Lap sitting is okay for our smaller travelers. Just please don't lift anyone up. They're not Simba. You're not Rafiki. And we just need everyone, including adults, to remain seated at all times, as it does get very bumpy out here. And as we head over to the reserve today, just don't yell at any of the animals. Make hissing noises at them, try to touch them, call them over, things like that. That will scare them away. But if you look above your head, you'll see an animal spotting. Won't stop for pictures, so have those cameras ready. Now, this first area we're going to be entering is the 𝙧𝙧𝙧𝙧 forest. A lot of the animals that live here do have a natural camouflage. It's going to help them to blend in with their surroundings. Like straight ahead here to the left, kind of towards the back of the hill, you may start to see a couple of those orange animals. Kind of be a little bit tougher to see. Those are bongos. Bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest because they're so rarely seen. Both the males and the females will have those curved back horns. It's going to help them navigate through the thick brush of the forest without becoming a know the okapi existed until 1901. Before that, we just thought they were a myth. So this actually only makes about 120 years of us even knowing they exist. To the left, you're going to see some of those light tan animals on top of the hill. Those are the greater kudu. They're the second tallest antelope. Going to stand about 55 inches at the shoulder, weigh about 750 pounds. Now, those white stripes along their coat, that in the thick brush of the forest, that's actually going to look like rays of sunlight coming through the trees, and that's just part of their natural camouflage.
I do have
So over here to the left, hanging out there in the shade, you'll see a black rhinoceros that blends in well with the rock and the clay. Black rhinos fully grown, going to weigh about 3,000 pounds. They have a triangular-shaped prehensile lip that's going to help them grab that vegetation that is closest to their face. Sadly, they are often poached for their horns, which are made up of keratin, the same material as our fingernails, and it actually has no value to humans. Now, one of the best ways we can help the animals that live here in the forest, we can recycle our paper. And it's going to help save a lot of these trees, and in return, help protect these animals' natural habitat. Alright, so straight ahead here, just past the bamboo to the left, you'll notice these large black and white birds. These are saddle-billed storks. They get their name from a yellow patch on their bill that kind of looks like a saddle. Fully grown, they're going to stand about 5 feet tall and have a wingspan of about 9 feet wide. So we are going to be leaving the 𝙧𝙧𝙧𝙧 forest, and next up we're going to be headed towards the 𝙬River area. The 𝙬River is a fantastic place to see a lot of the animals that like to hang out around the water. Because these animals do hang out around the water, sometimes they can be a little bit tougher to see, so no worries if you can't see the animals right away. Go ahead and stay seated for me and we'll try to get a better view. So if you do see something in the water that looks like a big pink rock moving around, more than likely that is a hippopotamus. We'll see a few more as we move along the water here. Now, when a hippopotamus is born, they are about 50 to 100 pounds, and they'll grow to be almost 4,000 pounds, so definitely quite the transformation. Up here on the second island, you may see the smaller hippo there laying down. That is Greta. She was born right here on the reserve last July, so only a couple months old.
That's more of a baby one, born here.
However, they are mostly vegetarian. All right, we're going to cross over this river bridge up ahead. As we approach the top of the hill, it does look like the trees are going to start to clear out just a touch. That is a great sign. We are headed out towards the savannah. The savannah is a fantastic place to see a lot of the migrating animals. Now, on the way out, you may start to notice this kind of funny looking tree coming up over here to the right. This is the baobab tree, also known as the upside down tree, because it looks like its roots are on the outside. Now, it's going to be leafless for about 9 months out of the year, but it is excellent at storing water, which is how it gets its other nickname, the tree of life. Alright, so as we head down onto the savannah, one of the ways it gets its unique landscape, the elephants come through and help to plow down the trees. The remaining trees the giraffes help to keep nice and pruned by eating the leaves. Then the antelope and the zebra help to keep the lawn mowed by eating the grass. So everyone works together out here. As we continue continue to stay seated. Look over here underneath the rocks, a few underneath this larger tree over here. You're going to see a couple of African wild dogs laying down there. African wild dogs, also known as African painted dogs. A lot of people think these are hyenas. Not hyenas, African wild dogs, and they are very successful hunters. Now, they're going to travel in packs of about 5 to 15 and will stalk their prey until it drops from exhaustion. They have an 80% success rate when it comes to hunting. That is compared to only about a 30% success rate for lions. Now to the left over here, you're going to see some of those antelope with the long skinny horns back there by those trees. Those are sable antelope. Sable antelope use those long skinny horns to help ward off predators like lions. They are the official emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve because they are tough, courageous, and stick together. And that's what Harambe means, stick together. Also might notice the large termite mounds coming up on both sides of the truck. These are made from tongue, dirt, and saliva. They'll actually bake out here in the hot sun of the savannah and become as hard as concrete. A lot of animals like to use them as a scratching post. One of the giraffes and the elephants use them as a scratching post. They tend to knock them over like this mound over here to the right, but no worries, that's one of the smaller animals like the antelope and the zebra. Use them as a lookout post because they're slightly giraffe and jam. Now, these are Maasai giraffes. As we get closer to them, remember, we don't want to call out to them or anything like that, but have those cameras ready because we'll probably get a couple of pretty good pictures. Fully grown, the Maasai giraffe will stand about 18 to 20 feet tall, and they have an 18-inch long prehensile tongue that's going to help them reach that vegetation that is high up in the trees, which is good because they're going to eat for about 19 hours out of the day and only sleep for about 30 minutes. So let's make sure we keep those hands inside the truck. We don't need to tell them hello. You know we're happy to see them. Also here to the right, you're going to notice some of those animals with the really long horns. Those are Rankoli cattle, also known as Watusi cattle from the tribe that first domesticated them. The horns are about 3 to 4 feet on each side. Inside those horns is a honeycomb-like structure. It's going to act as a way to help keep the Rankoli cattle nice and cool. As we pass by these giraffes coming up over here to the left, take a look at their spot pattern. It's as unique to them as a human's fingerprint. No two giraffes are going to have the same spot pattern. Giraffes actually have as many vertebrae in their neck as humans do in their entire body. Also have one of the highest blood pressures of any animal as well. The giraffes, also known as a tower, so nice tower of giraffes. To the right, over there underneath those palm trees, you're going to start to see some of those Hartmann's mountain zebra. Hartmann's mountain zebra are unique in that they are the Africa. Also, if you look at their ears are large. And the way I like to remember it is they kind of look like the shape of the continent of Africa.
Oh, look.
Also over here to the left, back there in the really shady area, back by those rocks back there, you'll see maybe a mandrill peeking their head up from over that hill. Mandrills are loosely what Rafiki's based off of in the movie The Lion King, except in the movie they gave Rafiki a really long tail. They actually have really short tails, a few more walking out from behind the bushes there. They have those red and blue faces that'll only get a darker shade of red and blue as they get excited. If they show their teeth to one another, they're just being friendly. If they show their teeth to any other animal, that is a sign to go away. It's a sign to ward off predators. Now, I think over here to the right, I just see the one elephant, so we can assume that this one is the male. The male elephants do tend to stay a little bit more secluded. I'll look it back a little bit there, get a little bit of a different view. The females and the children will typically stay together, with the oldest female being the highest ranking elephant. And she is actually going to have all the knowledge of the past watering holes and migration trails.
The girls are the smartest.
Alright, so this bridge up ahead looks really old, so we're going to go very slow over it. Very slow in Swahili is pole. Alright, made it over the bridge, and it looks like we're going to be headed into some red clay pits. Now, as we pass through this clay, you may start to notice some tusk marks in it. That's because this clay is very rich in vitamins, so elephants like to eat it to help keep them nice and strong. And some of those tusk marks coming up over here to the right. Something else you may notice elephants doing is they'll take mud and muddy water and they'll place it up on their back and their skin. That's because elephants have a very sensitive skin, so that mud's going to kind of act as a natural sunscreen for them. Because of that sensitive skin, researchers here on the reserve and around the world have discovered that elephants are afraid of bees. So in areas where farmers are worried about elephants getting in their crops, they placed beehive fences at the edge of their fields. This helps keep the elephants away and safe, helps protect their crops, provides another source of income for the farmers and the honey that the bees produce. It's a win-win for everyone and just another way we can learn to live with nature. Both sides of the truck, you're going to see these really large antelope. The females over here to the left, the males over here to the right. These are Patterson's eland, the largest antelope, going to weigh about 2,000 pounds fully grown. The males and the females are going to have those curved back horns. Another couple of African elephants coming up over here to the left. There's a watering hole up ahead here. Let's see if maybe we can do a little bit of a different view there. Or wildebeest over to the right as well. Here by this watering hole, there's some African elephants. Now, something else you may notice the elephants doing is they'll wave their ears back and forth. That's because those ears are filled with blood vessels, so when they wave back and forth, it's just going to act as a way to help keep them nice and cool.
Thirsty. Watch him. He's drinking. Get a drink here. Water. Put them in the weeds.
Mira los patitos.
Alright, so coming up over here to the left, you start to see a couple of greater flamingos. Flamingos get that pink coloration from their diet of shrimp, which is rich in beta-carotene. Fully grown, they're going to stand about 5 feet tall, and they are the largest of all the flamingos. Otherwise, they'll stay cool in the hot sun of the savannas. They'll stand on one leg. This helps to increase their blood circulation, and in return helps keep them nice and cool. So the elephants wave their ears back and forth. The flamingos stand on one leg. These sound like pretty good ways to stay cool out here. Alright, it's coming up over here to the left. You'll start to see a couple of ostrich laying on the ground there. Ostrich are the largest flightless bird. They can run at an average speed of about 40 miles an hour. They really can't fly. They use those large wings to help them steer whenever they're running. And then way over there, you'll see mama and baby rhino. Those are white rhinoceros. Catch up with them here in just a second. White rhinos get their name from the Afrikaans word vite, meaning wide, which refers to their wide jaw. Fully grown, they're going to weigh between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds. And sadly, just like the black rhinos, are often poached for those horns, which have no value to humans. Let me see a few more rhinos coming up into the trees over here to the right. We'll probably see them again here in just a little bit. Now, white rhinos can run at an average speed of about 35 miles an hour. They're the largest animals that can gallop. Grouper rhinos, also known as a crash. Now, we just passed mama and baby rhino over here to the left. Look back in the dirt over here. You'll see a cheetah laying down just before that grassy area. You'll see two of them there. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals and can run at an average speed of about 60 miles an hour. However, they can only maintain that speed for a couple hundred yards before they get tired, and that's when other animals, like other big cats, will come in.
Mira, allá arriba las llenas.
Now, cheetahs have those black spots all over their body, but those black spots are next to their eyes. It's going to act as a way to help reflect the sun. Similar to how a football player or a baseball player wear that black chalk underneath their eyes.
He didn't know where he was.
For the most part, cheetahs are one of the only big cats that like to hunt during the daytime. A lot of the other big cats wait for nightfall to do most of their hunting. And their vision's going to be a lot better, and it's a little bit cooler outside as well. One of those big cats coming up here. Large rock formation up ahead is called a kopje. About midway down the kopje here, kind of between that tree and that rock in the shade, you'll see a lion laying down.
Oh, right there.
Lions will sleep for between 13 to 20 hours out of the day, but we said though, one of those animals that for the most part is going to be more active at night. In the daytime, a lion's eyesight is about the same as you and I, but at night it's going to be about 5 times greater. Now, a group of lions is also known as a pride. Typically, the female lions are going to go out and do most of the hunting. The male lions will stay back in. Pride. Coming up to the right, you're going to notice just past this tree here, this little animal playing there.
Thanks for showing me.
Alright, next animal's kind of tough to see. Look just on the other side of this really large log here. You'll see kind of looks like a hairy rock with tusks on the other side. That's a warthog laying there. You can see their tusks sticking out there. Warthogs are known as the recyclers of the savannah because they'll reuse other animals' burrows. Burrows are the holes you see along the ground here to the left. And when they use those burrows, they're going to back into it, keeping that head facing forward. It's going to show off those tusks, which is going to help them ward off predators. It's also going to help in case they need to make a quick getaway. Take the ostrich eggs on the ground here to the right. Those eggs are very large and rich in calcium. 3 pounds each. A little human can stand on those eggs and they would not break. In fact, you can fit about 3 dozen chicken eggs in 1 ostrich egg. By the warden's outpost. As we pass by, there's a couple of small goats hanging around. These are Nigerian dwarf goats. They're very small and playful. Might seem head about one another. That's just how they establish dominance amongst themselves. And they produce a milk that is very sweet and nutritious and also very valuable. So farmers in this area will use that as another source of income and to help reduce the dependence on other animals. The yellow box out front, that's a beehive fence like the ones we talked about earlier with the elephants and the bees. So both of these are just 2 really great ways we can learn to live with nature. There's a lot of great ways all of us on board can help wilderness explorers on board today. You're riding the Simba 1. Simba 1. Well, friends, we are going to be approaching the unload dock here shortly, so now is a pretty good time to go ahead and start taking a look around your rows. Make sure you have all those loose items. Hats, cameras versus cell phones. Don't want to leave anything behind. If you have any trash, be sure to take that with you as well. One of the best ways we can help conserve is if it can be recycled. Let's go ahead and try to drop it in the appropriate bin. Friends, my name's Josh. It truly has been a pleasure going on a safari with you.